Hello, everyone. Welcome to the problem solving and ideation session that we have planned today. We are conducting this session in association with 26 Ideas, and their founder, Mr. Vinay, is here with us. Uh, I would be introducing him, but before introducing him, let me set a bit of background at why we are at this point of time talking about this concept of problem solving and ideation. Right. Most of the times we see a lot of opportunities around us. When I'm saying opportunities, the opportunities arises from the various challenges that we see around us, and from those challenges, there are or there can be a business idea which can be generated. But we don't know how to convert that challenge into an opportunity and have that idea to be generated and then convert that idea into an actionable venture also. So there is this very thin line which is existing. So there has to be that understanding about that problem, demystifying the problem, making it simple to understand, and then get into some action modes. Today we have Vinay here with us. Vinay is an entrepreneur who has got a track record of scaling ventures from inception to growth. And very interestingly, you would be seeing across his startup OS building venture is also been termed as 26 ideas. So definitely Vinay would like to have more insights regarding why this 26 ideas, the name was being what was the background because of which this 26 ideas was being identified. And this 26 ideas is an AI first operating system designed to empower the first time entrepreneurs to ideate, build and scale, emphasizing execution over the capital. Vinay has led previously also businesses and operations. He was associated with the Dutch tech giant Bird as their GM South Asia. He has held various strategic leadership roles at ByteDance and Alibaba also. He is quite passionate about community health initiative like Just Walk India and Mission Million Books. Welcome, Vinay. Thank you for sparing time for being here and sharing your views and ideas along with your experience and the case studies that you have seen across or personally felt across, which can give insights to the audiences. Right. So, over to you, Vinay. Like,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
just
you, Dr. Ashok. And hi, friends. Good to get you. And thank you for taking time on a Sunday. Uh, like Dr. Ashok mentioned, 25 years of experience working and building various ventures, and now a startup OS, which hopefully many of you would get to use in the next few days and weeks and months to come. So I'm going to start. We'll try to keep this session. I have a few slides, but what I would love is to have this as interactive as we can. Obviously, it's not a compulsion, but those students that are attending this, if they can switch on their cameras, if it is possible for them, it would be lovely to kind of put a face to the name. If not, completely understandable. Akash, Piyusha, Sumit, Mahek, Ekta, Nitin, that'll help us kind of keep this more. I'm going to start presenting. Confirming you are able to see my screen, correct?
yes, yes, we can see your screen.
All right, lovely. What is this? One second. Okay. So problem solving and idea works. Let's start with a very simple question. Do you, out of the students that are attending here, and we'll use the chat function. So kindly use the chat to give me an answer. But the first question to understand, do you currently have a business idea? Yes, no, exploring, maybe unsure, or here just to learn? Can I get a pulse of? So Ekta says yes, she does. What about the rest? Ekta, you can continue to type what your idea is about at least. What about the rest? No, just exploring, maybe, but not sure. Just here to learn, or still waking up, or on a winter vanish. Lovely. Akash says yes too. Akash, do you want to share what your idea is? Like a brief. All right. At least we have two who who are say yes, they do have an idea, and we'll pick on those at least. So, what are the foundations when we talk about entrepreneurship, and what are the for a country like India is different geographical? I'd like to explore them. Okay, sure. So the foundations are very principally clear. Sorry, I have just one quick question. Samrid or Dr. Ashok, is my chat window also visible or only the presentation?
Only the
Only
present.
Okay,
presentation.
lovely, superb, thanks. So foundations are very, very important when you do anything, when we start to learn in school or when we learn the alphabets. And that's actually the reason why we have called it 26 ideas, because 26 ideas stands for or is a culmination of getting the foundations right. You learn 26 alphabets, which is the key in order for you to learn the language of English and be able to speak and communicate clearly. And hence, getting your idea right is extremely important for it to become a business. So, the foundations of whatever you have, the idea that you have, and the business that you want to build becomes extremely important. And how does one then use frameworks in a young startup journey or a young ideas journey to making it revenue generating? So, let me start with very important thing. It's called the uncomfortable truth. Very, very, or rather, I'd say most people, almost all people start with something is that I think my idea is this, or my idea will solve for this, which is a solution first approach and not a problem first approach. So, my question to at least Akash, Nitin, and Ekta here is, have you all started in the similar manner that, yes, my idea is this and I'm going to solve for this?
You can
Or,
unmute yourself and you can also speak. I have
yeah,
allowed you the mic. Like,
anybody, you can raise your hand, you can unmute and speak. That definitely. Okay. But how many of,
So,
sorry, go ahead. Yes.
so yeah, like the initial problem which I faced in the country, when we look at our country, we have two like major sections when it comes to winters. So whereas northern, since I stay in Bombay, so in Bombay there is means winter is not that much where we look for Delhi or some north and east. So I found out that the clothes for the even for male and female are generically same. So I think that is a problem that India is facing right now. Also, the options are that if we want a winter wear, like for us, it has a lot of money involved in it. Like for example, for Zara and everything. So I look upon that, I research that, and then I have started working on this idea. So yeah, that much.
So you started with a problem or assumption of a problem which states that winter wear, the current collection of winter wear is not adequate for different sets of people in India basis the geo they stay in, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is available is very generic, so it is not maybe applicable to somebody who's staying in Bombay or in the south versus North India faces uh, more extreme weather conditions or winters. Uh, Correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So it is what I call the problem first mindset. Most people will typically start and say, I want to do this because my idea, my business, my solution will solve for this. However, very few people actually start with what we say the problem first. That is there a problem to be solved? So the key is you shift to falling in love with problems and not with solutions, right? What about Nitin and Akash? You guys have an idea on Nitin for import export. Sorry, Akash is for focus on import export category will be FMCG. What about Nitin?
Sir, good morning. My idea is about finding the lost items, but unfortunately, I've reached to a conclusion. I've drilled down to the exact problem, and I feel that solution can be patented. So that's why I'm sorry to, I cannot disclose it right now. But broadly, it's about finding the lost items. And presently in the market, there are devices doing the same stuff, but in a
Mhm.
different way. And the solution is not generic. Most, I mean to say it is bulky in nature. And if user is not tech savvy, then it will be difficult for him or her to implement that solution.
So when you say finding the lost items, this is coming from a problem that I have various things. I have a pen, I have a pencil, I have a pen,
Correct.
phone, I have a bag,
It
I have
can
a
be
shoe.
anything. It can be
Yes.
anything.
Understood. So you're saying a problem is finding the lost items, and I'm okay if you want to keep your solution, not in a conversation, but
Yes.
then you're looking going about to solve for that problem. Fair.
Correct. Correct.
Akash, you say you want to focus on import export and FMCG. That for me is like our straight solution. But was there a problem you identified, or that's just a business you want to get into? Probably there. Akash, you there or speaking on mute or no worries. So, like we saw in the case of Ekta and Nitin briefly, that they believe there is a problem, and they are taking their idea with the point that is this is a problem to solve. So, taking cue from that, I'm assuming everybody knows what the Amazon is, and who Amazon is, and have used Amazon. But how many in this audience, and you can use the chat or say, have read Working Backwards the Amazon Way? It's a book written by former Amazonians, and it speaks about the way Amazon starts to work. How many in the group have read it? Anybody? All right, let me. Why Amazon is successful, at least that book attempts to decode and guide why Amazon is successful the way it is. It says working backwards, which is start with the customer. Don't start with your solution. Don't start with that. Start with your customer. Customer meaning potential customer, and then work backwards all the way eventually to writing a press release. Now, why do you write a press release? Does everybody know what a press release is? Anybody here that would like me to explain what a press release is or attended a press conference?
To make aware people may, is to make people aware about things.
Okay. So, Nathan, what happens at a press conference? We've seen the ministers in the country, we've seen athletes in the country attend a press conference, correct? What happens in a press conference?
Well, normally, what they do, like they say they have some information and they want to share,
Yes.
and
And
then there are some dialogues. Let's say if they share any information, then public may ask some questions like how, what, and why. So
exactly. So, public meaning it could be media, it could be interviewers, it could be journalists, it could be industry people, it could be fans, it could be anybody, correct? So,
correct.
why it is important to work backwards and then write a first, what we say PR FAQ is, imagine if you had to take your idea and eventually go to present it to a media press, they would ask you hundreds of questions. And if you don't have answers to those questions, then you don't know what you are building yet. Hence, if you can't write a compelling story from a customer's perspective, that what are you building, why are you building, and how are you building, what is it going to do, how's the customer going to use, and many of those what we say questions a customer would ask similar to what a journalist would ask in a press conference, then you've not really thought through your solution and your problem and its solution, and only looked at taking it from a view that I'm looking to solve this problem, or my solution is going to solve this problem. So let me ask you a question, and then again, how many people have you spoken to with regards to your idea of finding the lost items? I know you told me you have a potentially groundbreaking idea that can be patented, but how many people have you spoken to?
I mean, I would say I approached around 10 people in my own society, and I'm convinced that this is a problem.
So exactly that's a concern. So number one, if you speak to few people, and 10 is a very small number, and second, if you speak to them in your friends and society or place you stay, that has a very biased view. I'm not saying that 10 is not a good start, but the key to understanding if it is a problem is to actually speak at large to unknowns. Because a known person will always give you almost like a biased feedback, but an unknown person has nothing to do with you, has no interest to supporting you. And if you can get them to give you a feedback, then you can for sure validate. I'm not saying that your assumption is wrong, but if I was you, if I had to advise you, I would say that this assumption is not established, which means the problem is not established. Can be still the biggest problem to solve for. So, not stating that, but you need to do more primary research in order to starting with those customers and understanding what they want and then how your solution possibly can help them solve. Let's go. These are three words I briefly spoke a little while ago. In my career, I have seen most people, and you spoke briefly, I have a solution that is going to solve this. And that is the straight answer to the how part of it. Many conversations I've had both with professionals, students, as well as industry leaders. The ones that are not successful are the ones that are struggling or trying to build their ideas or build their ventures are only talking about the how. I'm going to do this. This is how my thing is going to do. This is what it's going to do. These are how things. I think how is very easy. But the key framework to first solve is the what, the why, and then the how. These in the sequence. So what is define the problem statement precisely. Like you said, I'm going to help people find their lost items. But if I ask you that question, why exactly does it need solving? What would be your answer? Why does it need solving? Right, Nathan?
Can you, sir, rephrase your question again? I think I missed.
Yeah, you said the problem is I will help people find lost items. And my question is, why does it need solving?
So, to answer this, I mean, I conducted some literature survey as well as some market reports as well. It's like, where is the IoT market in right now? So, two, three pointers came in like the IoT market is growing. Second, there are many people. I cannot tell you the name of the disease because, if I disclose it.
That's all right. You can be as careful as you need to be.
Yeah, sure. So based on that primary research, I mean, literature survey and some market research analysis, so I just landed to the conclusion that, yeah, this seems a kind of problem which mass is having right now. So, and then just to realize that, I conducted a short survey in my own society and then landed up with some 10 to 11 old peoples, and they were struggling with the same problem, same challenge.
So you use secondary research to understand. You went to a short, but my question is, which is still unanswered in a way, why is it a problem to solve for? Maybe Ekta, you want to give it a shot. You're saying you want to launch winter wear. You've briefly told me the problem that people across the cities, in different geos, get the same access to products like Zara and H&M. But why is it a problem? Why is it even a problem? Like in Bombay, I don't want to buy winter wear. That's just me. So why is it a problem that we need a new winter wear line to solve for geo winter wear problem?
Sir, I feel that people today are very, they want new in everything. Like they're very trendy, and also when it comes to tier two and tier three, that market remains untapped with the kind of like all the A-listers such as Zara, H&M, they are not into tier two and tier three. Also, winter wear is a clothing which needs to be tapped so that every India has lot of market potential. Also, winter wear has a lot of potential because India as an means as a country does not get sometimes. Firstly, India has a lot of sectors in terms of monetary, because some people are earning very much, some people are and so everybody is not able to afford what they want,
Okay, so
and
let me ask
everybody
you,
wants.
you said four things. I'm going to ask you four questions in return for the four things. Number one, you
Yes,
said
sir.
it feels trendy and it feels. How many people have
Yeah.
you spoken to with regards to your problem statement that there is not adequate winter wear available? How many people have you
Sir,
spoken to?
known like people who I known know, I have spoken to near about 15 to 20, while
Unknowns?
people I don't where people while the people whom I don't know, including you, I feel I have spoken to 10 people.
Yeah, so that's my only suggestion. One, because the whole established fact is you say feel versus I know data is telling me that. Okay. Second, you said tier two, tier three don't have winter wear options. I would
Yeah.
disagree with you. Do you know how many stores Zudio has?
Yes, the Zudio has that, but nowadays Zudio and Max have become such a brand where people going into the stores and buying them. It's feel like they're wearing such less value clothes, because everybody is not comfortable telling that I have bought it from Zudio or I've bought it from Max. So that
Which
is
is
those people are buying them. Though people are buying them, that is not the problem. But the thing is that they want to feel luxury, they want to feel premium, and still yet they don't want to tell that I have bought it from you.
okay. So now are you solving for luxury or are you solving for diversity of product for different geos? So my question back to you
Uh,
is now, are you solving for luxury, which means there doesn't exist a winter wear brand, and hence there is a room between the Zara, H&M, and Zudio, but or which was the original
yeah.
problem, there is no product available for Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, in terms of different winter wears, which is the problem you're solving.
Uh, Sir, my major problem would be geo problem. But
Correct.
the thing is that people want to feel luxury also. So I'm also working on clubbing both the ideas together to make a perfect idea. Right now, I'm also iterating based on how many things I could add. So yeah.
Okay, just a last question, and why I'm not picking on you all, and it's more about helping you help yourself. How many people that you have interviewed actually have bought from Zudio and Zara?
Like, so right now I'm working. I've recently joined corporate, so I had talked only with them, also with the people I have around us. Mostly, when it comes to that bracket between 20s, like 20 to 25, they mostly buy it from there.
No, then general,
Uh,
I know. How many people have you spoken to who have told you that they have bought from Zara or not bought from Zara, or bought from Zudio or not bought from Zudio?
till now I've spoken to near about 30 to 40 people, and out of which 15 to 20 people have bought.
From?
From Zudio and this Max, and where when it comes to Zara and H&M, very few people.
Yeah, and all of these 32 are spoken in Bombay?
And no, no, uh, 28 have spoken in Bombay.
That's what. So again, I'm just kind of guiding you. Your primary problem is solving a problem of winter wear for geo specific, but 80% of the people you've spoken to are in one geo. So it doesn't solve for it. Your at least your primary research doesn't give you direction that your assumption of your problem statement is true or false. I'm not saying the problem is not
Okay.
existing. It can exist and it could be the next big business. But your approach on primary research is very skewed to the market you're in or the office you go to or the college you go to. Hence, it is not going to help you validate your idea, correct?
Yes,
So,
sir.
and then I could ask you one more question. Let's ask for that market potential. What is India's winter wear sales in 2025?
So right now, when it comes to only winter wear, it is near about uh 3,200 crores. When it comes to like, I've not gone into billions and millions, but right now it is 3,200 crores winter wear niche. When you put whole India together,
Yeah.
and I have also seen the demand profile, which is likely to increase by 2032. So yes, I'm looking
Superb. So
forward to
at least
this
you
growth.
have some sense of secondary data, which you can
Yeah.
then break down. So the key to this, and Ekta has some good points, Nitin has a few, but the key is understanding the what. What is the problem you're trying to solve? What exactly needs solving, right? Somewhat vague in Nitin's case, somewhat vaguish in Ekta's case, maybe a little more, or there is a couple of problems that she's looking to solve. Hey, am I solving for diversity of product? Am I solving for an aspiration brand that sits between a Zudio and a H&M? uh, Obviously, why does that problem exist, right? Why hasn't it been solved? What is it going to do? And the last is then how, which is how are people solving it today? So the question is, Nitin spoke about bulky things. The question to ask is, how are they buying today, right? Or how will you create value? So these three frameworks are extremely important in and writing them down with data. So it's not about just writing them down or having assumptions, writing them down with data, and that data should come from at least a significantly large number of potential customers that you speak as part of primary research. You may start with an assumption, but if you can't validate it, then it stays as an assumption. So I'm going to go forward with a very important quote which says great ventures actually start by defining the what the problem exists, understanding why it matters, and obviously then figuring out how to solve for it. And an example in Ekta's case can be I can launch a D2C brand which has the diversity of all the products, heavy winter wear, mid winter wear, casual winter wear, which can be available to somebody who stays in Bombay but travels to Delhi for work, or stays in Delhi and has his family in Bangalore and needs a combination of both, rather than opening stores in all three. Again, that's a how part of it, not the why part of it, right? Thank you. So, Ekta, Dr. Ashok has helped us. You said 3,000 crores. However,
Yeah.
however, the Indian thermal and winter wear is pegged at $13 billion.
The
Who should I
source is
believe?
the source is AI basically. I just
Yeah.
asked from it.
Yeah, but still, who should
Yeah.
I believe,
Okay,
Ekta?
maybe I would have. No, maybe the thing is that this is the whole, I think, USD $13 billion
That's
in
correct.
the Indian thermal market. Okay.
Thermal and winter wear, yes.
Yes, but I am only looking at winter wear, not thermal wear.
Yeah, no, fair.
Two
And
are
this,
different markets.
oh, absolutely. Winter wear or niche winter wear is a niche of winter wear, and winter wear is a niche of winter and thermal wear. So,
Yeah.
absolutely correct. I'm not denying that. So, anyway, so back to this great quote is great ventures start by defining what is the problem or what problem exists, understanding why it matters, and obviously then figuring out how to solve for it, right? My only
Yes.
thing is I've seen too many people focus on the how part of it, how I'm going to solve for it, uh, and not focus on what and why it matters. We dive straight into that. All right, let's go to the problem discovery lab, identifying real problems with examples, right? So we actually started this to get the session going. And I see a few more students have joined. Uh, Ran Vijay, Reet, Vatsal, Rachita, Osamit, uh, Bharti. Would you like to share in the chat or even speak if you have a startup idea or you have an idea, somewhat you're thinking about it, and what problem are you trying to solve with it? Nitin and Ekta have been very supportive and conversing with us about their possible ideas problems they're trying to solve. Anybody else would like to share that joined later? Madhav's here, Ranvijay, Reet, Vatsal, Mehak. No? You fear I pick on somebody? Are you guys even on the call? Sorry, with cameras off and microphones off and no response. It's a question I don't have an answer to. I know Nitin and Ekta are on the call for sure.
Yes, sir. I joined by now desktop. Earlier
I
I was on
know.
phone. I will be
Anybody
comfortable
else?
now.
Vatsal, Reet, Ranvijay, any of you have an idea? Bharti, Mehak? No? All right. So we spoke about that. We spoke about Ekta and Nitin's problem. But what is how do you identify a real problem, right? And how do you kind of validate that yes, my problem is worth solving for? I think there is, what we say is at least three key aspects. First, pain. Is it painful enough? Is it a must have, a need, or is it a good to have? Right. Uh, for example, a luxury car is a good to have, uh, but not a need. A car is a need, but a car may not be a need to a different strata of society. Logistics is a need for a different strata of society. How do I get from work, from home to work? But for a certain strata of society, they may need a car because there are four of them, six of them, travel is there, train connectivity is not there, or bus transportation is not there. So you have to define and understand is it painful? And if it is painful, are people complaining about it and or willing to pay to solve for it? Second, the frequency of the problem. Now, for example, let me ask, Nathan, in your assumption, how often do people lose things?
Sir, to be very frank, I don't want to disclose anything now because
No worries.
this is something really. I mean, I just wanted to say if I speak anything about it, it's publicly open.
No, no,
So
no
I'm worried
worries. So
about
I'll,
that.
I'll I'll give example. So I on the side I will tell you the more you will share your idea with, you don't have to use this forum. That's completely your choice. But the more you will share your idea with, the more you will get validation.
Yes,
What I have learned over 25 years is at any point of time, 6, 8, 10 people are thinking of the same idea. It is somebody who has the execution capability actually succeeds in the idea. You don't have to speak, but my suggestion is speak more and more about your idea to people. They will help you versus the fear of giving away your idea. So that's just my
agree.
general advice to you.
Yeah, agree.
So when
Thanks.
you look at a problem, the second point is frequency. Does it happen often? Is it daily, weekly, annually? If I'm taking it annually, let's say international travel, it's still not an annual thing for, I would say, 99% of the country. Uh, but it is then large enough, right? If I go to the third point, can you access the people and market is reachable? So if you take something which is an annual, which is, let's say, an international, sorry, somebody saying something? Thank you. So if you take an international holiday, it is still a very small, insignificant percentage of the country that travels internationally, and that too annually. So is it the frequency is too little, but is the audience large enough? Well, okay, maybe a few 100,000 families. So that's why a few travel portals and a few hundred travel agents that help you travel that. But if you come down to something like a monthly, uh, you know, or a weekly or daily, then it is something which is needed. Now, shoes is something you need daily. If you're an athlete, gear you need daily. Weekly could be you going home to see your parents is a problem for you to solve on a weekly basis, assuming that is you're far away. Transportation. courier, logistics, it falls in sometimes monthly to annually, depending on what use case you have. But if you're in a manufacturing business and you're manufacturing product to sell, then you need the frequency of logistics is almost daily, maybe even multiple times a day. So when you're identifying a problem, it is extremely important to see and understand, is it painful? Is it pain? Is it solve somebody's pain? Are they complaining about it? Are they willing to pay for it? Obviously. How often is that frequency? That is the pain or the problem. And obviously, can you access the people? How many of you have learned the three words TAM, TOM, and SOM? Yes, absolutely. In your case, it is annual. So, yeah, and plus the winter wear, once I buy, typically can last me 3 or 4 years, which means not only am I an annual customer to you, but I'm also not every year annual customer to you. Because if I buy a nice jacket or a sweatshirt or a sweater, unless my weight changes or my body shape size changes, I can use my sweater or sweatshirt for 2 or 3 or 4 winters, depending on how I take care of it. So am I not? Am I your annual customer? Yes, maybe even once in 3 or 4 years. And thermal, to my understanding, like at least I have bought thermals. I live in Bombay too, but I bought thermals from a brand several years ago. I use it only when I travel. Hence, I think my thermals will last me 6, 7, 8 years. So I'm not even probably an annual customer. So yeah. But my question is, uh, how many people know TAM, TOM, and SOM? Anyone? Yeah. Okay, Nathan, you want to explain what is the difference to others? What is the difference
So,
between, yeah?
ta- so TAM is about like the total addressable market. Like, let's say if I say the IoT business is, let's say, $13 billion,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's the overall umbrella of the TAM, right? And if I can drill into a certain amount of that area, maybe instead of 13 billion, I'm approaching for, let's say, 1 billion of a dollar, a specific segment inside that IoT segment area. So I can say it is serviceable, obtainable market. And if I say I'm confused about serviceable, available market. So
So
that's the broader
you
level
no,
understanding.
actually, so good attempt. You're absolutely right. Let's say the IoT market in the country can be $13 billion, or the winter wear market, winter wear and thermal market of the country is $13.5 billion. The serviceable available market, addressable actually it is serviceable addressable market, not available addressable market, is actually now for Ekta is the niche winter wear. So, which means what is the subset of that which is serviceable by her or serviceable, addressable. And then it comes to obtainable, which is how much of this addressable, which is the need for her product, or in your case, your IoT solution, solves for a particular problem. Hence, it is serviceable, addressable. How much of it can you possibly obtain, which means acquire? So,
Okay.
the TAM is the industry at large, which you rightly said. However, the serviceable addressable market is only a niche of that which your problem specifically addresses and you could be able to service. But obtainable is what out of that will you possibly ever be able to go and get. Hence, TAM looks very good on pitch decks. I'm part of a $13 billion industry, but really doesn't help. SAM also looks good, but SAM shrinks significantly to 10, 20, 30% of TAM. And then obtainable is real. What today's investors are looking for is what is the real market you can actually get if you got the money, resources, product, team, marketing, and so many other aspects that go into the aspect. Uh, so focus on that SOM. It is a key matrix for you to decide is the problem large enough, right? All right. Quick examples: manual invoice management, yes, it's a pain. Frequency is large. Market is extremely large. Birthday reminders already solved by Facebook and calendar. Simple examples, but is the total addressable large? Yes. Is it serviceable? Yes. But is it obtainable? No. Because already Facebook calendar and our own little notes are addressing that. So why would I build a business only around birthday reminders? Even though my TAM and SAM are large, in fact, it almost will overlap each other. But my obtainable is very small from a use case perspective. All right. I'll take a case study of MyPaco. I'll come back here to the screen. MyPaco, I attempted, succeeded, but also miserably failed in 2012-13. But we started off with a problem statement, which was when we went to various individuals in the country, they had to courier. This is 2012-13, and when ship rocket, delivery, e-card didn't exist. So when I went to you, let's say Nitin or Reet or Utkarsh or Samrid or Dr. Ashok, that hey, you want to send Rakhi to your sister in Chennai or to your sister in Kolkata or in Surat, anywhere. Rakhi was an example. And you wanted to send so many products and services. That time, the logistics market was extremely fragmented, which means if I had to send it to Kolkata, I had to use logistics company one. If I had to send it to Surat, I had to use two. And if I had to send it to Guwahati in Assam, I actually had to use one, but they would use two more services. So there was no end-to-end logistics that would have. So number one, if whenever individuals wanted to send a parcel, they did not know which service provider could outside of India Post. So India Post existed, but people did not trust India Post. They wanted faster service. They wanted more secure service. So outside of India Post, what is the solution? Blue Dart had started to offer pan India services, but was extremely expensive because you would send documents as close to 200 rupees, via Blue Dart. So that's expensive for, a product. Secondly, when e-commerce was starting to mushroom in 2011 and 12, the problem amplified for us because your merchants of e-commerce are present across all the country if you're a marketplace. And your customers are also present across all the countries. There are different numbers, but you say about 20,000 pin codes the country has. So now your merchant who's selling on e-commerce platform was available in any of the 20,000 pin codes. And your customer was also available in any of the 20,000 pin codes, which means the combination of customer A from A pin code buying from a merchant B of B pin code has whatever 20,000 into 20,000 combinations, permutations. And then try to figure out how do I build a successful marketplace if I don't know which courier will I need to deliver? This is before drop shipment came and Amazon started saying store in my warehouse in India and so on and so forth. So that was the problem that we were trying to solve. We went about it the right way. So I'll tell you the good part of the story first, and then obviously where we went wrong. And that's what, especially in Ekta, and I think that you'll hit that hurdle sometime in the future. So we said, okay, we know the customers. We started speaking. We spoke to hundreds of individuals who would typically courier things back to their home or work. We started speaking to e-commerce platforms like Flipkart, Paytm Mall. That those were the large two ones then, and there were smaller ones like Snapdeal and several more niche ones coming around. We also went and spoke to 25, 30 logistics companies, small, big, large, including Blue Dart being the largest, DHL being the largest, and small little Akash Ganga Courier. I don't know how many know that exist in Bombay. He's dominantly in the western suburbs, takes care of, a different cohort of logistics. So they all had their own specific routes. They all used many different courier companies. So we said, okay, let's create a tech platform where all of them can be integrated. And if I'm a merchant or I'm an individual that wants to ship a product from point A, pin code A, or point A to pin code B, point B, I don't have to worry about if I'm a platform or individual to choose this. The system automatically will map these stakeholders. And that's what we built. We started processing few hundred orders a day, and then everything went south. Why? We met the leadership of Paytm in their office. They were excited to invest in us. They liked what we were building, we were processing, but they gave us a different problem that they were looking to solve. And this is Ekta, probably back to your what I was telling you. While we had a problem we had identified, we had all the stakeholders willing to use us, and we had started early traction. Um, the problem then they had was, oh, I need hyper local delivery bikers. So e-cart or Flipkart's delivery e-com express was starting to start their business. And we were asked to said, okay, while the technology is good, but I also need bikers. So we got excited because everybody gets excited when a customer tells large customer who's got funded $700 million tells you, oh, here's my problem, solve it. So we got distracted from a technology platform, and we put 250 bikers in the country in Bombay, Surat, Jaipur, and Delhi area, delivering product from picking it up from an Akash Ganga, for example, giving it to Dr. Ashok, picking it up from Samrid's house and giving it to back to an Akash Ganga, whatever it may be, forward or reverse logistics. And that was costing us 25, 30 lakhs a month, uh, cash out. From a small engineering team, we had 250 operations. And not only that, we had to put mini warehouses, we had to put a master warehouse, and all of that. We went and raised $1 million, but that is very little if you had to do a pan India, because the problem was exactly that. Anybody can order anything from anywhere in the country from any merchant. So, hence, in order to build a logistics company, if you were servicing 3 PIN codes, you actually became part of the problem. You didn't solve the problem. All we did was we just solved Paytm's Bombay, Surat, Delhi, or Bombay, Surat, Jaipur's problem. That also part, but we did not solve the true problem they were facing. That distracted us in two different directions, because of which we actually landed up losing and shutting the venture 15 months later. And in hindsight, to think about it, delivery, e-com express, e-cart focused only on that, and look at how big logistics companies they are. And if you look at ShipRocket, only focused on building the technology platform, and you look at how large they've become. So I think staying focused to the problem and solution is extremely important when you look to build this. So that's a MyPaco case study. Happy to answer any questions anybody has as we move forward. So next part, validation bridge. Ideas are hypotheses, validations is proof. Absolutely. And I think at least I'm going to take the two examples we have. Even in research gives you validation, and then obviously prototype gives you validation. My concern or my feedback to both of you is, while your ideas may be the next big thing that the country or the industry needs, I have a sense that very little validation has been done both on the research side of it and also talking to your customer, especially on the paying customer side of it. That are they going to pay you for this, uh, for solving this particular problem? So solving the validation bridge is extremely important. I always say, and obviously execution, right? That if you validate and you don't execute, but there are three key things, right? And we spoke about this: customer identification. Who are your real customers? Do we even know? Uh, I haven't even. How many people know the term ICP? It was there on the slide, so I don't know how many picked it up. But does anybody know the term ICP? Nitin Ekta? I can at least, I know you guys have been conversing on your ideas. So, do you know the term ICP? No.
No, sir.
Okay, so that's great. So, ICP stands for Ideal Customer Profile, which means who is your customer? Who's that paying customer that is actually going to buy your product or service? That is number one, most important. Second, talking to them, understanding their need, understanding the problem, understanding, speaking about the solution, and having a structured template which is not biased. Now, I'll take Ekta's example. If you come to me in Bombay and say, I'm thinking of launching this brand which serves the winter needs for you in Bombay, my natural answer is going to be yes. But if you're going to ask me a non-open-ended, non-biased question is, do you wear winter, do you buy winter wear? Yes, no. What kind of winter wear do you buy? Who do you buy from? in the current buying experience, what is the problem do you have? Or do you have a problem? Better is even, do you have a problem? Because if you ask me what is the problem you have, you're kind of biasing me to give you an answer to that I have to tell you a problem. Versus if you give me a question, do you have a problem? Then I'm actually thinking, do I really have a problem or no? And you'll know the true sort of customers or ICP's thought that he or she may actually tell you that I do have a problem, but it is not diversity of product. It is brand and price, which means either I have a Zudio or I have a Zara, but I don't have anything in between, as an example. But not our assumption. The customer tells you that. So talk to them. And then obviously pattern recognition, right? Are all your conversations speaking of the same problem? Does the problem even exist? Even if they want to solve it differently today, and if it happens daily or multiple times a week, then yes, it's a strong signal versus the infrequency of the problem. So this is extremely important as part. Oh, live demo. Oh yeah. Sorry, this is the last slide, right, Samrit?
Yes, Vinay, we'll just walk through the demo of the idea that we have been talking about.
Yeah, that's all right. So I kind of walked you through the key aspects. I want to ask a very interesting question. Ekta, in your assumption, if you were a D2C brand and you had the product supply available to you, what is the fastest time you could possibly build an e-commerce platform and launch? Assuming you
Uh,
had the product
so right
available.
now, which a product available,
Yeah.
then maybe 2 months.
Okay. Does anybody feel they could do it in a different time, lesser or more? You could type your answer in the chat. Ekta says she will need 2 months, assuming she had the product. Uh, Obviously, making a big assumption, but anybody feels this could be done in lesser or more time? Okay, so what if I told you you could actually do it in 30 minutes to 60 minutes, Ekta? Would you believe it?
No, sir.
Yeah. So today, I mean, I'm not going to do a live demo here because we have few interactive students, but happy to take it offline. Today, with tools like vibe coding, Lovable, Replit, Emergent, Cursor, even if you don't know engineering, you could do it in 30, 60 minutes. How many of you have, okay, or you at least, Ekta, have you used vibe coding?
No, sir, not yet because I don't have my product ready, so I've
Yeah.
not used it.
So you could look at that with connectors and integrations today. I'm not an engineer, which means I'm not an engineering student, but you can actually use vibe coding tools with some skilling and some tooling to launch your website in less than 30 minutes. It is absolutely practical. It is absolutely doable. Samrit and me were chatting day before yesterday in the office about a problem we were facing. And we just huddled together in less than, I think it was 90 minutes. The whole app was up and running. It's a web app. It's not a mobile application, but it was a web app and it was solving our problem. So with the advent of AI and the advent of vibe coding, today you can actually take idea or prompt to prototype, at least digitally, in hours, forget weeks, forget months, and forget years. So that's my limited suggestion to you all, that look at speed, look at prototype, look at product, look at test, buy the product. Obviously, you don't need to launch a website if you're starting with 10, 20, 50 pieces of garments, 200, 300, sell to your neighbors or sell to your neighborhood more than your neighbors. And do that. So great. I think I touched upon a lot of key points in the hour. We have an hour and a half in total. I'm going to take a break from speaking. I'm going to keep open the floor to anybody who has questions and would like anything addressed. Feel free to either unmute yourself or post the question in the chat, and I'm happy to address both. Well, I can make two assumptions. One assumption, which is the fun, light assumption, super bright, know it all, don't have a question. Second is obviously Sunday morning. I have to listen and learn. So I'm still getting up. Breakfast is not in the tummy or is already. So either ways, thank you so much, everybody, for taking time out to speak. Apologies for rescheduling it from last Saturday to today. I had a personal emergency which I could not avoid. It was a health related issue with somebody in the family. So appreciate Dr. Ashok, you and your team, and obviously all the students who had to realign their schedule to be here today in the call versus last Saturday. Over to you, Dr. Ashok.
Sir, I'm sorry to just interfere. Just wanted to make one point. Maybe just let us know if it's okay or not. So you mentioned like you have an idea, approach the market, conduct the survey, and then later on, decide whether it's a real problem or not, and then you start, think of the solutions, right? So, just to add on, maybe sometimes all the solutions that we are thinking of may not be a success in running a startup. Maybe let's say you have 100 ideas, and out of those 100 ideas, only all the 100 ideas may not be workable, right? But sometimes I feel if some of those ideas can be, filed as a patent instead of, running the organization or running the startup, maybe filing the patent may help in next 5 years or 10 years down the line. Maybe someone is implementing that and as a feature in their own product. So it may be a kind of room where the person can file the patent first, and if he's not able to work on that solution, it's okay. Let's not choose that path, but file the patent, have it live. Once it is granted, at least you may approach the other vendors that this is the idea and you can incorporate it in your products to enhance the product features. So that could be another approach, I feel.
So filing the patent. So you mixed a few things there. You said a few key points. Uh, Filing the patent and not launching it and licensing the patent is the how part
Correct.
of it, is the how part of it
Yes.
for me. So it really doesn't matter. So taking your idea, you have a problem to solve, you've identified a solution, whether it was by research or whether it was by discovery, whether it is your family's problem. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You found a solution or you researched to find a solution. So you have multiple paths. You can actually build the prototype or build the actual business, after validation and sell the product or service, correct? Direct to consumer. Let's say I'm a customer, you could sell it to me if I'm a customer. Second, your customer could be a B2B, means another IoT device manufacturer whose product your solution could fit, which would be better for them because they have the distribution to your final customers. That's another how. The third could be, hey, you know what? I found this problem statement. I found a solution. Uh, I believe the technology that I've understood and I can make has greater value than building a singular product because its applicability could go into various aspects. So you could then file for a patent and keep the patent and sell or license the patent later. For me, Nitin, all three are valid paths. There are three different ways of how, and that you as an individual would need to decide whether are you looking to get, license it so that you don't have to worry about distribution and you don't have to worry about customers and sales and setting up team. Or more than worry is either you don't have the resource ability, capability, or the bandwidth, or this requires government distribution. So again, uh, are all three valid paths? Yes. If you see historically, uh, PhDs and master students started doing a lot of research and identified and started filing patents. It is only till the recent 5 years that corporates or even these students started going and saying, hey, I've identified a solution to a problem which I have patented by virtue of research. Can I commercialize it? So there is actually a large unlocking of patent research papers or patents filed by US, Australia, Singapore, even now India students or colleges or professors to see its applicability into the commercial market. So absolutely it is a path and you could choose to do that. You should decide what's the objective and what do you want to do with it? And all three paths are valid paths.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
If my start Parikshit states, if my startup is at an initial stage and I required a grant, how do I get this? Means if I want to initialize my startup, I did not have good financial to invest because I'm a student. So great. I mean, Parikshit, what is your idea about? Is this just a question just related to that, right? So I think there are too many places. If you go to Startup India, sorry, Parikshit, you were speaking. You speak first, please.
Yes, sir, I have a startup regarding us developing a hardware which will be integrated in any vehicle and can be operated remotely to use it as a to use it in cellular technology means it will control a vehicle via Logitech joystick means it will accelerate the vehicle and brake by to a human assistant, and after the technology is developed uh, it will be you means the human operator can be replaced by a AI assistant like LLM models.
Okay. So isn't this, is it nobody solving for this problem, Parikshit?
So actually in India nobody, but in Europe the way there is a company called Way, so it is
But what
doing.
about drones? Isn't what you just explained to me isn't it the foundation of every any drone a mobility solution that exists? Vehicle can be four-wheelers, two-wheelers, no wheels. It could be on air, land, and sea. A vehicle's definition, anything that moves, right? So isn't the whole both Tesla's autonomous cars or even drones are nothing but vehicles that move and accelerate forward, backward, brake, and navigate without human intervention or joystick driven human intervention?
Yes, actually, the problems in defense system and mining system and ride hailing means in ride hailing it will be very revenue efficient because it can operate means one human operator can operate two or three vehicles at a time simultaneously, and in defense we will integrate our soft means sensor pods hardware uh, to into the vehicles of the armed force means to supply food in a restricted area and in a unsafe where the soldiers could not survive that much means to petroleum and all, and in mining and in chemical plants it
So,
will be
so
used.
here's my feedback to you, Parikshit. Number one, a lot of it, what you've stated, has been solved for in some way or the other. It's also an assumption. Is it an industry to continue to invest and build 100%? Drone, mobility, autonomy are extremely futuristic and deep tech industries that one should keep continuously building into. But my suggestion to you would be talk to people, understand the real problem. Second, directly to your question, you go to Startup India or Invest India, they have listed all the grants and schemes that the government offers and private institutions offer, either directly or via accelerators or via your college itself, depending on what is the route. And you would have to do a little research yourself in terms of where what is available. I'm still talking only grants, non-equity based. I'm not talking equity or debt. So there are tons of grant options available today to students and non-students from the government and its structured institutions like the AICs, like the incubators, like the government itself, Startup India Fund, they call it, where you can take, equity free or debt free grant from 2 lakhs to 25 lakhs, depending on the idea and the stage. So please research Startup India, Invest India. You will find a lot of information.
Okay, so okay, I will go to it because I am lagging in DPIT certificate. Actually, I gone to that website SISF.
Yes.
Actually, yes. So my certificate is pending. Actually, I'm applying to it.
Yeah, it'll take a few days. You could also get, we took a DPID certificate. I think we got it in a few weeks. Uh, so that's just a precursor. But what are the grants you can apply for? You can get it there itself.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. I will apply it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Anybody else?
Yes, if anyone else wants to discuss and share this idea. Okay, no issues. In the meantime, I would like to say thanks to Vinay, for being here. The overall idea that why we have came about this particular workshop was that means lot many times we see a lot many things around us, and then there can be a business opportunity as a management student. We should be able to see that business opportunity. It's not that we have to get and develop that business, but we need to train our minds to actually look towards or develop that observation skills from our day-to-day life in order to identify that can, or rather is there a business process which is underlying it. Ah, so our innovation council, the IIC, we try to actually develop and build across these sort of skills. Getting a good observability, getting across a good business idea, or rather, not even a business idea, if I put it across, if we are able to even define the problem clearly, like Vinay has put across, what, when, why, we talk about the four W's whenever we try to talk about the any problem definition, who is facing the problem, what exactly the problem is. We try to figure out when and where does it occur and why does it matter. Then this what, who, what, when, why, these four W's, a very simple technique. It helps us in developing wonderful insights regarding any of the problem areas, right? So whenever we are seeing any process, anything, any gap which is existing in and around us, so we should always try to develop an habit of questioning it through this four W's. Somewhere you're going to find five W's also, and so on. So, but four W's are good enough to really get across into that insight, and that itself is going to help us train ourselves. From observing to creating an idea. Then definitely, if I want to test that idea, there are going to be different steps that needs to be done. That means some sort of a validation is going to be required. You need to speak to different set of people across in different environments, so that your problems gets validated. We also try to get across to the root cause of it, whether it is a technological issue or it is a behavioral issue. So whenever we try to get across that, we always see that small incremental innovations are created just by addressing a small behavioral issue along with that. Yeah, na? And we all have seen a lot of case studies, examples around it. So that is another one. Every time we need not to get across into that, the technology parameter itself. And definitely, once we are seeing across that idea, and we also have to think across, is there a better way of doing the same thing? Sometimes it is improvement in the process. We talk about process innovation actually. Yeah, so that improvement in the process itself can be a big business itself. Lot many times the gaps are existing there in front of us, but still we are not able to see that. Like when I talked about Paytm, and Paytm is an example which is very close to my heart. There are so many banks existing, so many NBFCs which are existing. Still, nobody thought of giving that sort of a solution which is going to touch our lives, make it the things so simple that the payments can be done this way and that way, and seamlessly it can be done across. And just because of that one simple, the concept which was there, definitely, like we can always say that COVID was the one which provided that the right ecosystem. But before that, also little or small adoptions were being actually catching up. The UPI which is there, so we already like had that sort of a concepts there in mind. You are understanding it कि ऐसा कुछ हो जाए तो कितना अच्छा हो. Change की problem आती है. You're going to the retailer and a lot of memes were being created कि those parlay की toffees were now the parallel currencies. है ना, you're going there तो retailer ने उठाया और currency में आपको ये toffee दे दी. And then if you're fighting it out, so ठीक है वापस ले आना. And then on paper slips and small boards on which the amount was written 5 rupees, 2 rupees, 1 rupees, and that was being like exchanged. And now we don't see that. In just a few years, everything has gone, everything has changed. Now we don't see any fight anywhere in the retail market where regarding the change is being done. Even the small like shopkeeper also is okay with it. So cash नहीं है कोई बात नहीं Paytm कर दो. इतने cash कर दो इतने Paytm कर दो and so on. Right. So definitely like this small gap was being identified, it was being tested across, and then it was being built across. In today's scenario itself, if I share my experience, the Paytms, like the the smooth way that they are working across is beating across all the banks. The banks apps are not as fast as far the apps like Paytm they are performing. Right. So somewhere the idea was there, concept was built, tested across, and then like the environment itself supported it. Yeah, so that problem solution fit was there. Yeah. So I hope like that we had a good takeaway from this session. क्या ना डेफिनेटली एक सेशन में कोई बिजनेस प्लान नहीं बन जाता, बिजनेस आइडिया नहीं बन जाता, but at least like we are able to really get across a sense like there can be ideas which can be created, need not to be worried about if some idea does not work, but we always have to be vigilant, looking forward for the ideas. We need to train ourselves, and you never know when the, the eureka moment for you is going to be there. है ना? And then you can put forth to us and or to any of the like your the startup mentors, and they can help you in building across like things in a better way. So again, thank you. Thanks, Samrit,